My guest is Miranda Riley, Curator, Heritage Services from the City of Kingston. I'm so glad you came in today.
Thank you for having me.
And brought some really pretty things here. Now, tell me what a curator does.
So curator is an interesting job. It's kind of a catch-all of a bit of everything. How I like to think of it is that we help tell the stories of Kingston. So how we do that is we do that through interpretive exhibits, we do it through tours, we do it through programs, and kind of working with community groups to help share their stories as well. So it's a whole mix of everything. No day is ever the same, but essentially we're trying to help share the stories of Kingston.
So I always think of curators as museums. They work in museums and they deal with a lot of really old stuff.
Yes.
They sift through and they say what has significance and what doesn't. And they tell me that they usually have so much stuff that they can't actually display everything. It's what I've always heard.
Yes.
But these things look like they were made yesterday.
They do, but we've had them for quite a while, but they're in very good condition. We're lucky that we have great facilities to take care of these things so we can preserve them and then show them to the people of Kingston.
Tell me about these.
So these are a selection of Reku plates that were donated to the City of Kingston in 1973 by what it's known now as the Kingston Potters Guild. Previously, it was known as the Ceramicists Guild. And they were given to the City of Kingston to celebrate the tercentenary of Kingston becoming a fur trading post. So they were given as a gift. So this is just a small selection of the 33 plates that we have. And they were made locally in town by local artists. And the plates, they're called Reku plates, which is a certain Western style technique of how you create the clay and then you stick it in a kiln and then fire it at a high temperature and then cool it very rapidly. It comes from a traditional Japanese technique. How the Western version differs, though, is that once they remove it from the heat, they put it in a closed container with combustible materials, so it reacts differently with the glazes, so it comes out with different colors, different cracking. So each plate is completely unique. You have no idea how it's going to turn out. So it's like a fun guessing game.
Well, in fact, this one catches my eye
Yes.
because that looks like it looks. I mean, it's beautiful.
Yeah.
But it almost looks like somebody kind of spilled the paint and oops. That's
Yeah.
I stick it in the oven anyway. But this was actually a technique.
Yes.
It's
Yeah.
beautiful.
Yeah, they're quite interesting because it's a lot of happy accidents, which is how you kind of get these amazing shapes and colors and forms and textures on it. So they're all very unique and they're very interesting to look at.
This one catches my eye as well because it isn't just flat. It's got all these little, almost look like little mushrooms.
Yeah, they look like little barnacles.
Little barnacles, yeah.
Yeah, it's a nice little texture element on there.
But you think about it, 73 was over 50 years ago.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, so we are dealing with old stuff here.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, we definitely are. And these actually hadn't previously been displayed for a long while. We brought them out last year for an exhibit that we put on at the Pump House, just kind of showcasing a bunch of the different treasures and oddities that we had in the collection, and these were one of the ones that we brought out because we just think they're so interesting and so cool, and we got to chat with the Kingston Potters Guild a lot about them as well to learn a little bit more about them, which was great.
Now, you are doing something different this year, and it's that section that juts out into the market square.
Yes.
Tell me about that.
Yes, so this is the Kingston Artist Showcase. So this is something that we've worked with the Arts and Culture Department with at the City of Kingston. And what it is we're just trying to display and celebrate local artists. So back in the summer, we put out a public call just to the whole City of Kingston asking for any artist to submit 2 works of theirs that they would like that could get entered in to be displayed at City Hall. So we've selected it's going to be in 2 different shows, but we have about 60 pieces between 60 different artists that are going to be displayed at the back of City Hall.
Wow, that's amazing. It's a big space.
It
when
is.
I think about it. When, that it was the police station for a long time.
It was.
Yeah, exactly. So I think of art. I not knowing much about art. I think of paintings, but it goes beyond that.
Yeah, so in this show we have traditional paintings, we have a painted indigenous drum, we've got some paper mache sculptures, we've got stained glass, we've got watercolors. It's a whole mix of everything, which is really nice. The call, we didn't ask for anything specific, we just said you had to be an artist from Kingston. We got a delightful array of subjects, mediums, kind of techniques, and all different age ranges. So we've got emerging artists, we've got professional artists, we have mid-career artists, so it's a nice celebration of all the different types of artists that we have here. So the show is actually going to be in 2 parts. So the first one actually opened today. It was its first day.
Oh.
And then it'll be there until April. And then we'll have the second iteration with a whole different artists in there, different artworks that will open in May. And it'll be there until next October.
So is there a charge to go and see these pieces of art?
There's not. It's a free exhibit, so we want anybody to come down and see it. There's lots of really interesting things for everybody to see.
Oh, good to know. Now, the thing, just walking through the city of Kingston, you are going to see a lot of artifacts.
Yes.
And maybe it doesn't occur to you. I think if anybody has not been to Memorial Hall, you need to go to Memorial Hall, and better if you come in the summer because there's guided tour. I'm a tour guide, so I'd love to show off these. But anybody can go in and just there's nothing, if it's not being used for something, go in and take a look at those windows, because those really are a real treasure.
Yes, they're stunning.
Yeah. They. Can you tell me more about those?
So the stained glass windows were put in 1921, and they were done by a Toronto company called Robert McLaughlin Windows. So it's 12 stained glass windows that kind of feature different battles that took place during the First World War, and they were all kind of commissioned and donated by different businesses and individuals in Kingston, and then kind of put into that space as a memorial to those who served.
Yeah, and every time I look at them, I see something different.
Yes.
And I have to keep reminding myself they're over 100 years old.
Yeah, they're looking quite good for over 100.
And I get asked all the time, have they ever been touched up? Have they ever been? And I don't believe they have.
Nope, not that we've done so far.
That is the original.
Yeah.
And the detail. There's a guy lighting a cigarette.
Yes.
Just those funny little details, and I think every time I look at them, I see something that I hadn't noticed before.
Yeah.
And they are absolutely, and when the sun hits them, they are
stunning.
just stunning. Yeah, absolutely. And then there's the portrait gallery of former mayors and heads of various governments and so on. Yes. And we have how many?
So we have a total of 63. So not all of them are on display in City Hall. We have a total of 61 out. So, so there's a lot of them to see, and they're all throughout City Hall.
And they're beautiful portraits.
Yes.
And and it's almost like a walk through the history of Kingston, just to go and read the plaques.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're really special. What else comes to mind? What comes to mind with you with Kingston City Hall? What are some of the...
some of the highlights? Oh gosh, like a lot of them you have to come back for a City Hall tour to go and see, because the jail cells are one of my favorites in the basement.
Right.
We have the original jail cells from when the lockup was there, so I do really enjoy those, just because I think it's a nice little snippet of the building's history down there, and not a lot of people know about it. My new favorite one is actually the niche cases that we have. So those are located on the first and second floor, and those are actually little mini exhibits that we do with community groups. So community groups can apply every single year to have a space in one of those cases and kind of get to tell their stories. So that's a really special one to me, because I like learning more things about these different community groups and helping them kind of share their stories that haven't been in City Hall before. So I really enjoy those.
And that's the other thing you can do, and it doesn't cost you anything. Just walk into City Hall and speak to the guard.
Yeah.
Go and walk around the first and second floor, look at the niches. They change all the time, so there's something else you can do. Yeah. But you have other museums that you folks are responsible for. Yes. Which, tell me about those.
Yeah, sure. So we have the McLaughlin Woodworking Museum, which is located at Grass Creek Park. So that space is used mainly more as a programming space now, but sometimes we'll do like kind of winter and holiday events out there where it's open to the public. And then we also have the Pump House Museum as well, which is just down the street from City Hall on Ontario Street. So there we have the history of the pump house as Kingston's first water pumping station. And then we also bring in temporary exhibits as well. So right now we have an exhibit from the Canadian Museum of Agriculture, which is called Soil Superheroes.
All about the worms.
Yes, so you can learn about soil health and all the different soil superheroes that live there. So that will be there until January, and then we bring in new things every single year.
It's really interesting, and the McLaughlin, that's where they have all the planes.
Yes.
Right. There are how many?
We don't even know the full number. We have so many. We have one of the largest collections in this part of Ontario, at least for sure. So there's many hand planes.
So if you're interested in carpentry or woodworking, that is the place to go. Yes. And you change exhibits, so it's not just a summertime thing. You can go just about any time.
Yes.
and visit some of the museums, and again City Hall.
Yeah.
Take a walk through City Hall. Yeah, it's. We are very lucky to live in such a great city that respects heritage and respects history. Yeah, for sure. Thank you so much for bringing these in. So the art gallery.
Yes.
Tell me again, where do people find it?
So it's located at the back of City Hall in the Market Wing Cultural Space. And so the exhibit will be open from Wednesdays to Saturday from 12 till 4. And it's free admission. So you can come in, don't have to pay anything. You can learn a lot about our local Kingston artists and then also explore City Hall as well.
Absolutely. Thanks so much for coming in today.
Thank you for having me.